We didn't get it. I don't know how I'm feeling right now. Well, let me just give you the quick rundown. I followed up with the real estate agent on Tuesday this week about the auction on Thursday. They informed me the auction was no longer running, which I thought was a bit odd. And obviously, they weren't getting enough interest to go to auction, which was a bit conflicting with what the real estate agent was telling me. Believe it or not, real estate agents doing real estate agent things. So they then informed me that they were taking yesterday by midday best and final offers. There would be no negotiation. It was best and final. We had originally put in an offer pre-auction for this house and basically laughed at by the real estate agent on the phone call back, suggesting that there were plenty of other offers in and they were thinking more in the $1.3 to $1.4 million range. So we thought about what we could realistically afford without putting ourselves in massive financial trouble, and spoke to the banks or the mortgage broker again just to reassure where we could be in terms of our offer. And I feel like we put in a pretty good offer, considering all of those things I spoke about in the other video with the other risk factors with flooding, fire, and the high voltage power lines. All things we were not necessarily happy to undertake in terms of risk, but things we felt either could give us an edge because we were willing to deal with that. Beggars can't be choosers. I waited, and in the afternoon I got a phone call saying that the owner had accepted an offer above ours, which was $70,000 above ours, 70 grand, when we're talking around $1.2 million, 70,000. So she took the extra 70,000 and a cash offer. So someone had it ready to go. There's no loan involved. It's not coming from banks. It's a cash payment. And we don't have $1.2 million in cash. And I struggle to think of who actually would, other than an investor. And I don't think an investor is really looking at that property for its accessible modifications that the owner had done for her husband. They certainly won't appreciate those things, I'm assuming. I can't know for sure. But I expect it to see on the rental market next week. If not, and the family that moved in needed the accessibility issues and were absolutely minted, well, good on them. And to the owner, Viv, I hope that 70K goes a really long way. We could have probably scraped that together. We wanted to keep a little bit more up our sleeves for emergencies, but it's hard to think that house fell out of our grasp for that little in comparison to the entire purchase price, that little amount of money. And it's a lot. I mean, it skews your sort of concept of what is a lot when you start dealing with these larger figures that they should never be. The house itself was worth $600,000 5 years ago. So it's doubled in 5 years. I think what gets to me the most is this lady had almost a decade of living with her husband's injury. It was an accident. He fell off a roof. It's tragic. And she was thrust into this world of disability as well, similar to us. She was very kind. She offered a house tour for Liz when we were just sort of in the neighborhood doing a walk around and happened to bump into her. So she gave Liz this tour. She was showing her all of these things that she'd made appointments for within like the kitchen, for example, to make life easier for her, as well as all of the bathroom and ramp modifications, etc. She offered us something that she no longer needed, which was a assistive device to help get the wheelchair into the boot of a car. It's pretty cool. Actually, I hadn't seen one before, and yeah, we were picking that up and having more chats and sharing our stories, and I don't know, in my mind, this was all leading towards this perfect meeting of people who had a shared experience and were sort of, she's wanting to get out of her home, tie that up and get into her retirement village. And we were looking, to get into her home, make use of those things that she'd done and expand on it. So to know all that, and to know that we were 70,000 below, and to not say to the real estate agent, you know what, I really like that family. If they can get to this figure, I'd be happy to sell to them. And yeah, I'm just salty right now. What a week. Anyway, I can't dwell on it. Got to move on. So, what's the plan then? Well, after finding out that our borrowing power will increase in a few months' time, when I've got the 6 month of employment record, and yeah, we're just going to have to keep our eye on the market. Lots of houses have popped up yesterday and today. Probably about 7 or 8 more in that same area that we're looking, and none of them suit for us and are all out of our price range. So unless the market takes a bit of a downturn in the next 3 to 4 months, interest rates drop, all that sort of stuff, we might be shit out of luck. Anyway, so that's it for the daily videos. I'm doing this in my lunch break. I'm going to edit it after work and get it out this evening. I might do a live stream tomorrow night. I might do it over the weekend, but I feel like I need to have a little bit of a decompression after this week, and I want to focus on the video for next week. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be just yet. I've got a list of about 100 pieces of content that I'd love to speak to. So make sure you're subscribed and keep an eye out for next week's video. Follow us on socials. I'm going to be trying to get more Instagram posts, reels, etc. out, and TikTok is on the horizon. As much as it pains me to do so, we could get a lot of exposure there. So I'm not going to let my, let's just say, differences with social media at large get in the way of Taj being able to be supported by more and more people. So I really appreciate everything that everyone's sent in terms of love and support this week. Honestly, Liz and I are really just blown away again by just how generous people are being, how kind people are being, and how supportive they are. So that's it. Have a great day. Thank you for watching, and let's learn and grow together.